A suspect was arrested in the theft last weekend of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's purse at a restaurant in downtown Washington, D.C., law enforcement officials said Sunday. The purse included some major belongings, including $3,000 in cash, Noem's DHS access badge, her passport, her driver's license, blank checks, and her keys. The theft occurred as Noem was celebrating Easter with her family. Thank you to the Secret Service and ICE and our law enforcement partners for finding and arresting the criminal who stole my bag on Easter Sunday as I shared a meal with my family at a Washington, D.C. restaurant, Noem said Sunday in a statement provided to the Hilton spokesperson. Law enforcement officials did not identify the suspect by name, but the accused individual being a repeat offender who had immigrated to the U.S. illegally some years ago, of course. This individual is a career criminal who has been in our country illegally for years, Noem continued in the statement. Unfortunately, so many families in this country have been made victims by crime, and that's why President Trump is working every single day to make America safe and get these criminal aliens off of our streets, she said. U.S. Special Service Washington Field Office Special Jeez. Okay, so many words. U.S. Secret Service Washington Field Office Special Agent in Charge Matt McCool, no way that's his real last name, said in a statement that the individual was taken into custody without incident in D.C. following an intensive investigation conducted in coordination with local and federal law enforcement agencies. McCool called the defendant a serial offender and said there was no indication Noem was targeted because of her status as DHS secretary. We have also determined that this incident had no protective nexus to Secretary Noem or her role as Secretary of Homeland Security. The investigation revealed alleged criminal activity, including potential device and credit card fraud, McCool added. The Hill has reached out to the Metropolitan Police Department for comment. So I can empathize with the idea that you don't want someone to steal your purse, your belongings and whatnot. I had someone find my wallet last year, and it was pretty awful. When people pick something up and then they try to use it to their advantage. But what I find so curious about this story is like, okay, she was eating at a restaurant with her family. How the hell did the perpetrator acquire her purse? Like, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I'm some expert on what people do with their handbags, but if I'm sitting somewhere and I have a bag with me, I put it to my side. Maybe I put it on the floor right next to me. I'm very careful to always have it in extremely close proximity to where if someone just came on the side of me and grabbed it, I think I, or at least the people around me, or some combination of us, would notice. They still haven't, from what I've been able to gather, told us how this occurred. But the other part of it is like, who the hell? And this goes, it's so crazy, like how these people live in a whole other dimension from the rest of us. We talked about how most Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency. Imagine like walking around with $3,000 in cash. Like, what the hell are you buying to where you just have to? You just think it's normal to just have thousands of dollars just on your person. That's why I say, like, when you see the kind of money that these rich people have and what they consider normal, it really it just paints the picture of the have and the have-nots. And the other part of this is that it seems really real, and I don't normally I'm not trying to insinuate any conspiracy theories, but it seems extremely coincidental that an illegal immigrant happened to be the person that took her purse. I don't know. It just feels kind of fishy when you add in that they're also not saying the person's name. Just seems a little bit like a very interesting coincidence. I'll put it that way. But yeah, hopefully, whatever fraud occurred with the cards can get resolved. Listen, I'm not. I can't stand the lady, but I'm not a fan of people getting their stuff stolen. And it's really crazy that like there are individuals in this world, in this country, right, one of the richest country in the world, where most of the people that live here can't afford $1,000 emergency paycheck to paycheck, who are walking around with thousands of dollars on them. And that's what's so hard to believe about, you know, her not being targeted for being the Homeland Security Secretary. It's like I'm supposed to believe a random criminal offender, someone that does this prolifically, just by happenstance, grab the purse of someone in the presidential line of succession. Like I'm really supposed to just not think this was like a targeted thing. Okay, I mean they say that. I guess I can spin into buying it, but it's weird. Her having that much money on hand is weird. The fact that it was coincidentally an illegal immigrant while she's the over the department of that is weird. I don't know, it just some of this stuff just feels kind of fishy.